I didn't imagine that acting was a way to get out of the house. It wasn't really like a passion when I was a kid. It was something that I was already doing at home.
I would say that they're more surprises because they have beginnings, middles, and ends. They're not like, it's not just like hey, there's the person and we move on. It's they're there for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said it just earlier, but I wanted to go back on that. You think that this might be the greatest film that you've...
I mean, look, most of the time when the movie is this much fun to make, you up bad.
The Marvel Universe is in absolute chaos right now. A jaw-dropping rumor has exploded across the fandom, leaving everyone stunned. Word on the street is that behind-the-scenes footage from one of Marvel's most highly anticipated projects shows none other than Ryan Reynolds, the king of sarcasm and Hollywood's most beloved jokester, completely losing it on set. Yeah, you heard that right. The man known for his effortless charm and razor-sharp wit is allegedly caught on camera yelling at his co-stars. One minute, he's the wisecracking, easygoing hero we all adore. The next? Rumors say there's footage of him locked in a heated showdown with fellow cast members. Voices raised, tension crackling in the air. But what really went down? What could have pushed him to a breaking point so intense that it sent shockwaves through the entire studio? At first glance, this might sound like just another overblown Hollywood gossip piece. Just another wild headline to stir up buzz before Marvel's next blockbuster hits the screen. But here's the thing. Reynolds has spent years building an image as the nicest guy in the business, always quick with a joke and never short on charm. So why are fans, insiders, and industry veterans whispering that this isn't just some baseless rumor? Something big might be lurking beneath the surface. Insiders working on set, speaking under strict anonymity, are spilling some serious tea. Whispers suggest that creative clashes, grueling schedules, and behind-the-scenes tensions have been boiling over during production. And if these leaks hold any truth, at least one of those heated moments resulted in Ryan Reynolds raising his voice at his co-stars in a way no one saw coming. The alleged footage, which was never meant to see the light of day, has now become the talk of the industry. And let's be real, this isn't the first time a major blockbuster has been rocked by behind-the-scenes drama. Who could forget those infamous leaked recordings and explosive set scandals that have, at times, completely overshadowed the films themselves? Now, with speculation swirling, everyone's dying to know. What exactly was caught on camera this time? Was it just a brief moment of frustration? A full-blown ongoing feud that's been brewing for months? Or could this be one of Ryan's signature sarcastic exchanges that's been twisted into something much bigger than it really is? Marvel is famously tight-lipped about leaks, leaving fans desperate to figure out how much of this is real and who's behind these whispers in the first place. One burning question stands out. Could these behind-the-scenes tensions have anything to do with Ryan's growing creative influence? Beyond starring in the film, he's been playing a major role in shaping the project, bringing his signature humor, self-aware references, and boundary-pushing wit into the mix. And while his input has always been a fan-favorite element, is it now clashing with the bigger vision of the studio? If so, this drama might just be getting started. Could Ryan's bold, boundary-pushing comedic style have clashed with the more traditional approach of his fellow cast or crew members? That's what insiders are now speculating. With Marvel's signature balance of action, drama, and humor, was there a battle behind the scenes over just how meta or over-the-top certain moments should be? If so, could the leaked footage be just a tiny slice of a much bigger creative standoff? One that got way louder than anyone expected? But here's where it gets really juicy. The rumors aren't just about a few harsh words exchanged in frustration. According to an unnamed source, the entire blow-up stemmed from a major creative disagreement. One that got personal. Allegedly, a co-star felt overshadowed by Ryan's comedic influence, frustrated that his relentless humor was pulling focus in key scenes. The tension built up over multiple takes, as the scene was reworked again and again, trying to strike the perfect balance between comedy and drama. Then, it erupted. Voices were raised, tones sharpened, and because Marvel keeps cameras rolling for behind-the-scenes content, it all might have been caught on film. While some argue that creative clashes are a natural part of filmmaking, what's truly shocking is the idea of Ryan Reynolds, Hollywood's golden boy of charm and wit, getting heated enough for it to become a full-fledged rumor storm. Of course, longtime fans are finding this hard to believe. Ryan has always been known as the ultimate team player, going out of his way to hype up his co-stars and create a fun, energetic atmosphere on set. Could this alleged outburst really be a sign of deeper tensions? Or is this just another case of behind-the-scenes gossip being blown way out of proportion? Either way, the idea of Marvel's most beloved wisecracker losing his cool has turned this into one of the biggest Hollywood mysteries of the moment. Social media is already in full defense mode. Fans are rallying behind Ryan Reynolds, insisting that the whole thing is either wildly exaggerated or completely taken out of context. Could the so-called leaked footage be nothing more than a moment of frustration blown way out of proportion? Maybe the audio is misleading, or the atmosphere on set was extra tense that day. After all, Marvel Productions run on brutal schedules with sky-high budgets and zero room for mistakes. Even the most easygoing stars could have a brief slip under that kind of pressure. But not everyone is buying it. The skeptics are convinced that if these rumors are swirling, there has to be some truth to them. They point to past Hollywood controversies, moments where on-set tension was denied for months, only for the real drama to explode later. If a legitimate clip exists, one that actually shows Ryan in a heated confrontation, with tension palpable in the air, could this be evidence of a much bigger problem behind the scenes? Could Ryan be butting heads with directors or producers over the tone of the film? Is his signature comedic edge clashing with Marvel's grander storytelling vision? And what about his co-stars? Are some of them feeling overshadowed by his humor, believing it's warping the film into something they never signed up for? These are the burning questions flooding comment sections and online forums. The echoes of past Hollywood set dramas are impossible to ignore. And if history tells us anything, the truth always comes out eventually. Fans have seen this before. Hollywood is no stranger to actors who project nothing but charm in public, only for whispers of explosive behind-the-scenes behavior to surface later. Some of those stories turned out to be blown out of proportion, while others gained traction as more details spilled out. So now, with Ryan Reynolds at the center of the storm, the question is, which will this be? Massive productions like Marvel operate on an unbelievable scale. Directors, writers, studio execs, visual effects teams, and a star-studded cast, all trying to bring a billion-dollar franchise to life. With so many egos, clashing visions, and insane schedules, tensions are bound to boil over at some point. So while this rumor feels shocking, is it really that far-fetched? As news of the alleged footage spread, speculation exploded. Could this rumored meltdown cause delays for the film's release? Could it impact Ryan's future in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Or even derail huge crossover plans that fans have been dying to see? And what about the co-stars who were supposedly on the receiving end of his outburst? Are they quietly holding a grudge? Or was this just a moment of frustration that got blown up by the internet? Marvel, as expected, has remained tight-lipped. But here's the thing. Whenever a studio refuses to comment, the silence only fuels the speculation. Is Marvel trying to quietly contain the situation before it spirals into something even bigger? Fans are watching closely, waiting to see if the truth finally comes out. Some argue that these rumors are too minor to warrant an official response. But here's the thing. The longer the silence drags on, the wilder the theories become. In an industry that thrives on shocking twists and headline-grabbing drama, every unanswered question only adds more fuel to the speculation. And now, a new layer of controversy has emerged. Forget just the content of the alleged footage. What if the real story is about who leaked it in the first place? Marvel runs an airtight operation, with cast and crew locked into ironclad contracts designed to prevent any behind-the-scenes material from slipping into the public. Yet, somehow, this footage may have found its way outside the vault, which begs the question, who benefits from this leak? Is it a bitter crew member, fed up with the high-pressure environment? A strategic move from a co-star's team looking to reshape the narrative of on-set drama? Or could it be something far less calculated? A simple, accidental slip-up that spiraled into a full-blown scandal? Of course, for those who love a conspiracy, the most tempting theory is that this was a deliberate move to undermine Ryan Reynolds. Could someone be trying to chip away at his influence? Or even more cynically, was this an intentional stunt to stir up publicity for the film? Whatever the truth may be, one thing's certain: Marvel's silence is only making the mystery more irresistible. Marvel has been here before. The studio has a well-oiled strategy for handling controversy, and history tells us one thing: if the rumors get too big to ignore, they will step in. Sometimes it's a vague, carefully worded statement about the intensity of high-pressure sets. Other times, they flat-out deny explosive claims. But so far, radio silence. And the longer that silence drags on, the bigger the speculation grows. Right now, fans are split into two passionate camps: Team Ryan and Something's Up. On one side, his supporters argue that he's a comedic genius, a pro who's worked in grueling conditions and still kept things lighthearted. They say he's human, capable of frustration just like anyone else, but never the type to be truly malicious. On the other side, the skeptics, the ones who think the lack of an official response is telling, that maybe this isn't just a wild internet rumor, but something more serious brewing behind closed doors. And then there's the bigger conversation. Ryan Reynolds isn't just another Marvel star. He's a unique player in Hollywood, someone who's crossed studio lines, built alliances, and pushed for creative control over his most beloved characters. Fans love him for bringing humor into roles that might otherwise feel too rigid, but some critics have long whispered a different concern: that his comedic instincts sometimes overshadow the emotional weight of a story. And in the Marvel Universe, balance is everything. If a scene leans too hard into humor, it risks undermining the stakes. If it loses that humor, it risks feeling too heavy-handed. Just when it seemed like the tension had hit its peak, a new rumor sent shockwaves through the fandom. There might be more footage, and not just a few extra seconds of behind-the-scenes drama. Longer, even more intense moments that could completely change the narrative. According to whispers, the first snippet could have been nothing more than a teaser, a calculated leak from someone sitting on a gold mine of behind-the-scenes content. If that's true, could we be looking at a slow-drip leak strategy? A play straight out of the Hollywood scandal handbook, where one leak sparks a demand for more, only for the next wave of footage to shift the entire perspective? If Marvel wasn't already on high alert, they definitely are now. Behind closed doors, the studio is likely scrambling to track down the source of the leak before anything worse gets out. But here's where things get even stranger: the rest of the cast's reaction, or rather, their silence. Some of Marvel's biggest names, typically very active on social media, have gone eerily quiet. No statements, no clarifications, just radio silence. A couple of them have posted vague, cryptic messages about staying positive and focusing on the work. But are they brushing off the drama? Or are they subtly acknowledging the storm without throwing fuel on the fire? In the world of Hollywood, even the absence of a response can speak volumes. And right now, every unanswered question is making this mystery even juicier. It's entirely possible that Marvel has given the cast a strict directive: say nothing. In an era where every single post gets dissected under a microscope, even silence can be as revealing as a statement. And right now, the silence is deafening. Meanwhile, Ryan Reynolds' own social media remains business as usual. Family snapshots, playful quips, and zero mention of the rumored meltdown. To some fans, this is a clear denial. If the drama were real, wouldn't he at least acknowledge it? But others aren't so sure. They argue that Marvel's notoriously tight media control could be forcing him to stay quiet, sticking to lighthearted posts while the studio scrambles to control the narrative. If Marvel is in crisis mode, they may have already decided that the worst move would be Ryan addressing the rumors directly. After all, the moment he acknowledges it, even to deny it, it becomes a bigger story. And that's exactly what the studio wants to avoid. But here's the problem. The lack of information is only fueling an unstoppable rumor mill. Fans and industry insiders are drawing chilling parallels to past franchise scandals, where minor controversies spiraled out of control until they completely overshadowed the films themselves. And that is Marvel's worst nightmare. They've spent years crafting an intricate marketing machine designed to dominate the box office. But if this story keeps gaining momentum, it could shift the entire public focus from the movie itself to one actor's alleged outburst. If that happens, Marvel's perfectly orchestrated rollout could be completely derailed by real-life drama. And at this point, the studio has to be wondering if the damage is already done. Marvel has spent insane amounts of money and effort crafting the perfect hype machine. Every new character reveal, every storyline tease, every future crossover. It's all carefully planned to keep fans on the edge of their seats. But right now, none of that matters. Because instead of talking about the film itself, the headlines are completely dominated by this behind-the-scenes firestorm. And that raises a huge question. What does this mean for Ryan Reynolds' future in the MCU? For years, he's been a powerhouse presence, a fan favorite who seemed locked in for multiple projects. But if these rumors of real behind-the-scenes friction are even half true, could it throw a wrench into Marvel's long-term plans? Could this so-called meltdown create tension that makes future collaborations difficult? Or is this all just noise that'll fade away once the film actually drops? Hollywood drama has a short shelf life, unless something new keeps fueling it. If there's no follow-up, if the movie delivers, this entire controversy could vanish like it never happened. But here's the kicker. The rumor won't die. And one massive question still hangs over everything. Does the footage actually exist? Reports keep surfacing about a mysterious video floating around, allegedly locked in private online circles, seen only by select insiders. Some claim it's just whispers, while others insist it's real but being carefully controlled. But until that clip leaks to the public, this entire saga remains a battle between rumor and reality. And right now, nobody knows which side will win. Right now, this so-called leaked footage exists only in whispers and secondhand accounts, not in the form of any widely available proof. And that single fact casts a massive shadow of uncertainty over the entire situation. Because in Hollywood, there's a huge difference between a rumor and a verifiable leak. If this footage ever does surface, the conversation will immediately shift from, "Is this real?" to "Who's responsible?" And more importantly, what happens next? But even without the footage going public, the damage could already be setting in. Industry insiders warn that rumors like this don't just disappear. They have a way of corroding the trust that makes a massive production like this run smoothly. If cast and crew begin to fear that anything they say or do behind the scenes could be secretly recorded and leaked, it could create a paranoid, tense environment that suffocates the creative process. And what about Ryan? If he truly believes someone on set is working against him, if he starts to question who he can trust, then that seed of doubt could plant itself deep, potentially shaking his long-term future with Marvel. That said, Marvel is no stranger to damage control. They've weathered massive controversies before, often deploying a mix of tight PR strategies and swift behind-the-scenes fixes to contain scandals before they spiral out of control. But right now, the buzz surrounding the movie has nothing to do with its storyline, its characters, or its impact on the MCU. The real story, the one gripping fans, dominating headlines, and fueling endless speculation, isn't about the film itself. It's about the chaos happening behind the scenes. And if history tells us anything, this kind of drama doesn't just go away quietly. For fans who once couldn't wait to devour every teaser about Marvel's next blockbuster, the focus has completely shifted. The real question now, will this behind-the-scenes controversy overshadow the final product? Some remain hopeful, believing that a truly great film will always stand on its own, no matter what happened off camera. Others aren't so sure. They worry that once the press tour begins, the only thing reporters will ask about is the alleged on-set showdown, turning every interview into a PR minefield instead of a celebration of the movie itself. And that's where we are, waiting, speculating, and questioning everything. Marvel fans and pop culture junkies alike are glued to this unfolding drama, unable to resist the shocking possibility that Ryan Reynolds, Hollywood's king of quick wit and effortless charm, might have actually lost his cool. Whether this is just a fleeting gossip frenzy or a hint at something deeper behind the Marvel curtain, one thing is clear. This has completely changed the conversation. So, what's next? Do we write this off as just another Hollywood overreaction? Proof that even the most beloved stars can have an off day? Or is this a crack in the facade, revealing something about Ryan Reynolds that no one saw coming? The stage is set for more twists, and if new evidence drops, whether it's actual footage, co-star statements, or Marvel finally breaking their silence, the narrative could shift all over again. Until then, we're all just watching and waiting. Because in an industry built on illusion, even the smallest crack can send shockwaves through the entire system. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share if you want to stay in the loop on every new update. Who knows, by the next video, we might have the truth. See you on the next one.